Hi, Doug. My name is Margie Bowen, and I am resident of Burlington. I'm a web designer and developer, and I like to give free tips to some local businesses that I see that could use a little help fixing up their websites. So right off the bat, I want you to know there's no obligation whatsoever. I just want to help you out a little bit here with your website. So you can see them on your website now. You've got these really nice pictures showing, and that's great. Um, One of the things I noticed is that other than these little text boxes that you have here, you don't really have very much content on your home page. What I mean by that is text. And the search engines, primarily Google, they like to see a lot of content, a lot of text, like 300 plus words on a page, so they can really understand what your website is about. And that's really probably the main reason that your website doesn't rank. Well, I couldn't find it at all actually when I did some searches. Um, and we should bring up another tab here. I did a search, you can see here, for electrician, Harwinton, Connecticut, and your east side shows up and some others. And if we go to more places here, you can see some of the other contractors, but I don't see your name listed anywhere here. That could be a problem because this is a really important place to show up. And I went through all these listings. These are called organic listings. The search engine optimization that's on your website or not is what affects where you show up in this listing. Now mine are all numbered, and I have some other information here because I use a special tool to get more information about what's going on with websites and the search engines. But I went through the first 10 pages down here. That's the first 100 listings, and I didn't see your website listed anywhere. And then I thought, well, maybe it's because I did electrician, and on your website you're stating more electrical contractor. So I did another one for electrical contractor in Harwinton, Connecticut, and I got the same thing. And again, you're not showing up here. You still got east side there. And same thing in these organic listings. I didn't see you anywhere in the first 100 listings. So I thought, well, then maybe you got to be out there. You have to be indexed. And so I searched specifically for your name on the Grid Electric Harwinton, and Google automatically corrects it to on the grid with the spaces in there. And so I started looking through, and you're showing up in some of the directory listings and things like that, but your website is not showing up anywhere. Again, I couldn't find it on the first 100 pages, and nobody's going to look beyond the first page or two, so it doesn't really matter after that. But so that's something that really should be addressed, and that that gets into a little bit more detail about how to actually do search engine optimization. But I was reading an article over the weekend about Wix sites, the platform that you're using for your website, and they typically do not rank very well with the search engines. And I'm guessing that it's not necessarily the platform itself, but the fact that it's more of a do-it-yourselfer kind of platform, which is great. Everybody wants to save a buck, but if you're not ranking and nobody's seeing your website, you're not really saving a buck because you're losing a lot of business. You're probably losing a lot more than you'd ever save. So I don't know that Wix in and of itself is the problem. It's just that most do-it-yourselfers don't have any idea of how to do search engine optimization. But I want to go back to your website because there are a couple of other things I want to point out to you that you can fix on your own. This title here on the Grid Electric, it kind of gets lost. You might want to change that to a black print, or maybe not even put it there at all because you do have your nice logo up there. On the About page, you want to fix this. You have a typo here in the word troubleshooting. You want to get that E in there. I like what you're saying about, on your About page here, you could get even, some more text on that. Every page ideally would have 300 plus words on it. On your services page, you've got your subtitles here. That's great. You're giving a good idea of what you're doing. You've got a little overlap here of this subheading, so that looks a little funky. What you really could do to make things, make the search engines a little happier and reward you a little better, is if you had a separate page, for example, for your residential services and another page for your commercial services. And then within your residential services, maybe even have a separate page for upgrades and improvements, another page for lighting, another one for your generators, and for safety and security. By doing it that way and then putting in additional text, they really get a sense of what you're all about, and then they will reward you by ranking you so much better in the search engine rankings. Because if nobody's going to see you, what's the point in having a website? And your testimonials, that's great that you've got testimonials out there. I always love to see that. And then on your contact page, the first thing that stood out to me was this email address here. This info@mysite.com. I'm guessing that's not your email address, and that's just a default that Wix uses there. So that looks really funky, and it's down here in your footer as well, right here. So you want to get that corrected. When I see something like that, and maybe others do too, it just kind of says, okay, well, yeah, it's a do-it-yourself site. They don't really know what they're doing. It's, it's not their expertise, obviously. They're an electrician. But it's almost like, well, if they're cutting corners with their website trying to save a buck, are they going to cut corners when they're working on the job for me? And it just kind of gives a uneasy feeling. So make sure you correct that right away as soon as you have a chance to get on and update your website. It's great that you have a website. I first did my own website many years ago for something else that I did. And yeah, we try to save a buck, but in the long run, it doesn't really work out that way, because if you don't get seen, you don't get the customers. And so go ahead and make those changes, and at least correct the typo and the email address and that sort of thing. But if you really want to get ranked, you've got to get some more content in there, more text, telling the search engines what you do, and using specific keywords so that when people search for you, they know what to look for. So that's just my 2 cents, Doug. And if you need help with anything, I'd be happy to help you. But these are things you can do on your own. And hope to see you at one of the Chamber of Commerce meetings sometime soon. Take care. Bye-bye.